Hi, I'm Max Wexler with the Fiercely Independent Network. We're here at the Kleinhardt James Center for the Arts, and we are covering some of the Sunday panels that are going on here.
Because I started as a painter, for me, the whole idea of mass audience, like 12 seems like a lot. So every time it's more than 12 and 24 and 46, like I do think of my audience as a series of individuals. And so I treasure these opportunities to actually look at faces and think, well, each of you is a person. And the idea that you might look at my work and have it, it feels like a very personal connection.
Where you're not all about selling your film to a distributor, but you're here to really connect with people and have them maybe talk about your film, and that's because really word of mouth is tremendously important to filmmakers, especially when you don't have a multi-million-dollar budget to sell it.
I think bringing films to communities, especially where there maybe isn't a thriving art house scene or a college community, is really important. So it's great to be at a smaller film festival, I think, where you have time to explore, to follow your own interests, and have great conversations like we had today. I really just enjoy having time to talk to people here.
The truth is that having a longer time, you can actually get deeper, because most things are 20 minutes or 15 minutes, and like if you actually have an hour and a half and you really feel like people walk away and they feel like they know something more deeply about that artist, and I think that's worth it, to go a little deeper.
Everything in the film goes back to how did this person come to be? I mean, the reason that we all want to watch the documentary is because he was such an important cultural figure, and his work is important, and it's important, and the film is important because it reflects back on his work, and so it's sort of the film is kind of I approached it through his relationships, because that's also my bent, like I was talking about, but I'm interested in how people create each other. Mm-hmm. And so I was very interested in how he had been in part created by his relationships. And even though it's not like overwhelmingly said in the movie, I think that that's the feeling you get in part, but then also the point of the movie is just that you feel like you've spent a weekend with him, that you know him. And I tried to Dave Bartner and I, the editor, and I really tried to kind of strip away everything that wasn't really him, Arthur, and everything else is sort of essential to understanding where he came from and the relationships that formed him. But yeah, Arthur Miller Writer just seemed like the bottom line.
I had started shooting 25 years ago, and I had taken a little break, and then decided to start to put it together just because I couldn't stand to have a monkey on my back anymore. I just had to finish it. But now that it's done, it feels weirdly timely in some ways. A lot of the things that he went through in his life, like, for example, the Un-American Activities Committee and Joe McCarthy, and the feeling that the country might be drifting toward fascism, was something that, it feels like we're living through a lot of the same questions about what is our country, how fragile is our democracy, and what is an artist's place as a political being? What is an artist's place in our society? Are we allowed to speak up, or are we supposed to just stay in our lane and mind our own business?
For more from the Independent Network and to find out more about the festival, visit www.woodstockfilmfestival.com.